Let's fight. A very good evening to each and every one of you, wherever you're joining us from around the world tonight. It's a privilege to be here with you guys. Let's fight. Share the live, smash that emoji button, folks, and prepare to partner with us as well. We're going to ring that bell again to bring some of you in properly. Isabella Butters is here. Janet George is here. Siobhan McDonald is here as well. Let's fight, folks. Good to see Cheryl Glenn, Jolly Anderson. I see Deborah Mitchell is here too. Share the live. Jamal Aziz, good to have you on the live. Wherever you're joining us from, those whom the God wish to destroy, we're going to find out tonight who they made mad. You know, the folks say that once the bell starts going, they can't hear us. Tonight, we're going to find out those whom the God wished to destroy, the first made mad. They make a couple people mad. And we're going to find out in very short fashion who the gods, kick off. Well, good to see each and every one of you on the live tonight. We got a lot to share with you, fantastic folks. We got the fight card set. There's only some of you missing. Folks, tonight, we got the opener. Y'all know if it's Thursday. Y'all boy run out, and I want to tell y'all, those whom the God wish to destroy, they first made mad. It's not me. It's who says so. It's not us, folks. But we find out it's true. Well, y'all boy run out today. You see that Sarah Lynch interview? Set him off. You see that Gordon Mosley line of questioning? It vexed him. And today in that press conference, where y'all boy said that we better than the U.S. In many regards, he says, we are better than the U.S. Wherever you're rocking and coming from tonight, share that live. Smash that emoji button. Take a look and take a listen.
In our engagement with the international community, we're saying, hold on a minute. This country is made up of people of every race. Look at the composition of the public sector. Look at the initiatives the government has done on housing, on the children, on education, on health care. They benefit all of our people. Look at the composition of the executive. Look at the composition of our legislature and the judiciary. They reflect their country. Unlike even in the United States of America, we have a more balanced, in fact, by far, more balanced structure here than most countries in the world in terms of all of our people sharing benefits. And many of those who have raised this issue in the past from the international community, when presented with facts and figures, they're now moving away from that jaundice view, the prejudice view. So Rick Ford Burke and the others, their biggest nightmare is the PPP being able to meet with the congressmen and present facts and figures, because they go and present their bunch of lies about exclusion. That's what they talk. The exclusion is their backdoor into getting into power. And so we will continue to expose this. So a big hullabaloo over the week about President Ali not accepting the U.S. offer to mediate between the two parties. So again, the narrative by the Mosleys and others, and even the Mara Waves. Every few weeks, they come back to the same thing. Exclusion, although we have pointed out 1 million times that there is no exclusion, and about the parties are race-based parties. We have demonstrated the only party to be a multi-ethnic party. We have demonstrated they ignore the facts.
We ignore the facts. And that's what the fella said. We ignore the facts. That's the opener, folks. We can give some of you a chance to share that live. We can give some of you a chance to smash that emoji button. Good to see Renee Small on the live. Penelope Hudson is here. Fidel Albert. Angeli Abrams. Mavis Davis well. Emily Durant on the live as well. We see Kim Allison. Sprague Benz is here. Claire Alexis Chamley is here as well. Good to have each and every one of you on the live. We can give you all time to share the live, to smash that emoji. But the man say he'd be better than the US in the structure, them and racist, in distributing funds and distributing resources. We better than the US. You all hear that? Who the gods wish to destroy. The first made mad. That is what the fellas say. And who vexed? Vexed. Your boy run out. Mr. Doom, Dr. Doom, run out today. And that's what he said. The fellas say, we were better than the US. This little Dubai, Johnny come lately, Jack Neo, we certainly better than the US. I like when they start talking like that because the term going to be short, folks. The term is going to be short. Take a second, share that line, smash that emoji button, good folks, and let me go down the road, man. Good folks, let me go down the road. We're following that and some other issues tonight. Tonight, we're following that. But those of you who just joining us, Dr. Doom himself, in his presence today, suddenly we better than the US. We better than the US. You all believe that? Well, I don't see some of the comments already. I don't see some of the pushback in real time. We better than the US. Which side? Folks, if you miss it, as we begun the opener tonight, take a look and take a listen.
In our engagements with the international community, we're saying, hold on a minute. This country is made up of people of every race. Look at the composition of the public sector. Look at the initiatives the government has done on housing, on the children, on education, on health care. They benefit all of our people. Look at the composition of the executive. Look at the composition of our legislature and the judiciary. They reflect their country. Unlike even in the United States of America, we have a more balanced, in fact, by far, more balanced structure here than most countries in the world in terms of all of our people sharing benefits. And many of those who have raised this issue in the past from the international community, when presented with facts and figures, they are now moving away from that jaundiced view, the prejudiced view. So Rickford Burke and the others, their biggest nightmare is the PPP being able to meet with the congressmen and present facts and figures, because they go and present their bunch of lies about exclusion. That's why they talk. The exclusion is their backdoor into getting into power. And so we will continue to expose this. So a big hullabaloo over the week about President Ali not accepting the U.S. offer to mediate between the two parties. So again, the narrative by the Mosleys and others, and even the Mara Waves. Every few weeks, they come back to the same thing. Exclusion, although we have pointed out 1 million times that there is no exclusion, and about the parties are race-based parties. We have demonstrated the only party to be a multi-ethnic party. We have demonstrated they ignore the facts.
Oh my Lord, you hear madness there, folks? You hear madness there? But we can circle back to some of that as we proceed tonight. Share the line, folks. Smash that emoji button for us, guys, and partner with us as well. Y'all know we can't do this without you. We won't fool ourselves. We can't do this without you. Good folks, we got the fight card set. As we said, guys, look at some of the things we're covering. Some stuff happening in Washington. All are equal before the law in the United States of America. Y'all gonna look nice in orange suit, you know. He gonna look nice. Dexter Todd and his law firm leading the way, leading the charge. We can talk about that. What's happening locally with our Guyanese artists and that CPL game coming up. The CPL matches and that big mega concert I think they have coming up as well. And folks, climate change is real. One island in the Caribbean Sea, you know, pointing out that thing to us. Is the Caribbean Sea? That's in Latin America. We're going to find out, folks, because it's all too clear. Climate change is real. I hope we don't have no climate change deniers watching us tonight. You know, we hope we don't have any, because climate change, good folks, is real. Those are some of the issues we're following this evening and telling you all are coming to Georgia. Good folks, looking forward to seeing some of you. I'm in Georgia on the 16th. I'm in Washington, D.C. on the 27th and the 28th, folks. Looking forward. I want to bring you all, guys, everything that is happening in that conference on the 27th and the 28th. Folks, every aspect of that concert, of that engagement, of that conference, of that symposium, of that meeting in Washington, D.C. Those of you who can make it, I can be there on your behalf. I am going to be there on the ground on your behalf, Washington, D.C. on the 27th and on the 28th, bringing you all live and direct, all of the happenings there. So look forward for your support on that. And we're going to be in Georgia on the 16th as well. And looking forward to seeing some of you there. Looking forward for your support on that as well, good folks. And that just somehow keeping matters as we press on. Look at what we're following around the world. You know, they're trying to keep Trump off the ballot. Amendment 14, there's a case that's being dubbed the Amendment 14 case. They said Trump do too much for being on the ballot in 2025, and some folks are working assiduously to make sure nobody with Trump track record, a friend of the PPP, ends up on the ballot. It's not Trump. They send Pompeo. It's not Trump. It's who? It's me. No, it's Trump. Send Pompeo to do the dirty work. Y'all ask Granger, he can tell y'all. Is he send Trump? This Trump rather, sent Pompeo, and them boys embrace Pompeo with open arms. Now we're still waiting for the catfish deal to be delivered on. What did we get out of it, folks? Y'all tell us, what did we get out of it? So this Amendment 14 case hopes to block Trump. Nobody with his kind of track record. The indictments that are mounting against Trump should be on the ballot. And that's what some of the folks are saying. They're pursuing some of these cases in the legal system in the U.S. of A, folks. And we can keep you guys abreast on that. Share the line. Smash that emoji button for us. And let's go, let's go, let's go. A Trump associate, a Trump advisor was today convicted, good folks. Today convicted of some very, very serious crimes in this whole thing to thwart the will of the people in that 2020 election here in the US of A. Right? This is Peter Navarro. Today was convicted. And I'm searching my notes here because I want to quote facts for you folks. Valid and credible information. That is what I want to quote for you good folks here. You all know them boys at our end. Brothers and sisters, got a set of cases in the court system, in the 592, hoping to pursue fraud allegations. 3 years out or 3 years in, not one conviction. But when they got the real evidence, Navarro we saw today convicted. We saw from the Proud Boys, one Joseph Biggs given 17 years. We saw one Zachary Real, 15 years. We saw one Dominic Pazzola, 10 years. We saw one Ethan Nordine, 18 years. Enrique Tario, quite recently, 22 years for their part in that insurrection there on Capitol Hill. 3 years later, not one conviction in all these trumped up charges in the 592. Don't come wrong with funny Jack with your nonsense. Don't do it. Don't do it. So Peter Navarro, part of this band of bad hombres, convicted just today. Who that's my friends. Right? He look real nice in an orange suit. Yet this band of bad hombres convicted today. Convicted, we can watch to see what the sentencing look like. Who there with me tonight? Who outside with us? Who outside with us? Let's bring you all up to scratch with some of what's happening, folks, in the region. They're telling us in Trinidad and Tobago, folks, they dodged the bullet. They dodged the bullet of Hurricane Lee. They said it hurled past Trinidad and Tobago, the brunt of it, missing the Twin Island Republic. Well, y'all know it's right next door. So if you have a little heavy rain and wind and so, y'all know what's happening. Hurricane Lee is pummeling through, barreling through the region, and we are watching that. They said Trinidad and Tobago missed it. Trinidad and Tobago missed it. So if you are getting a little 1 and 2 drizzles, more than usual, you know where to look. You know what might be the causation, folks. Hurricane Lee doing its damage. That being said, folks, climate change, as I said, is real. Climate change is real. And I just hope, good friends, we don't have no climate change deniers. Wrong our part. Share that live for us. We're 15 minutes in. We're just under 3,000 persons watching us from around the world. And we're so privileged. Disappearing acts. This is an island close to Panama. Trying to get the name correct, but we know for certain where it's located. Folks are abandoning this island. They said because the island is sinking, and them are waiting to find out. Right? They are not waiting to find out all of the effects. They said the island is sinking. Let me try to get the name correct for you folks. This island is called Carti Spoktupu. S-U-G, Suktupu, S-U-G-T-U-P-U. And it's right off Panama's north coast. This tiny Caribbean island, they say. Hundreds of folks are preparing to pack up and leave their homes to escape the climate change-induced sea level rise, the island going under. But the good books tell us this a long time ago. The good book told us this island's going to disappear. Well, here in Karti, Sabtugu, the people are preparing to beat out from the island as it becomes more and more submerged underwater. Yep, you see why you gotta live good with Father? You see why we gotta live good with Father? Because any day now, Volme Wilson, Lester Harlow, the road could be called up yonder. Lyndon Hopkinson, good to see you. Marlon Lorimer on the live. Marlon said that might be a good thing. Irma Dow, Saboni Semple, Patricia Craig, good to see each and every one of you on the live. I couldn't believe my ears. I couldn't believe my ears. When I heard Jack Leo say, oh, we better than the US. We are more diversified in what we do for our people. You hear madness, folks? Well, I can't wait to get to the rest of that. Patricia Kisoon, good to see you there. Charles Nelson, we see you there as well. Florette Jacobs Ward, Anthony Higgins, Dan Fordyce, we see you there. Ingrid, and all the other folks. Well, you know where we're going. We're preparing to enter the 592. Wilma Grant, won't you come with us? Lennox Anderson, folks, we encourage you to share the live, smash that emoji button, folks. Yep, and partner with us as well. And as we're on that very issue, I want to encourage each and every one of you guys. You know, you need a good justice of the peace. Commissioner of Oath, Stratford David. Well, we want to recommend the Alistair Collins firm down there at the Callion Mall, Lamaha Street, between Camp and Waterloo Street. 647-6410 between Camp and Waterloo Streets on Lamaha Street. 649-6410, 685-6447. And we use them all the time, folks. Part of the reason why we recommend them so highly. Alistair Collins and his team down there, they understand what they do for all of your documentation needs. They are nothing short of the best of the best. Yolanda Thomas, we see you there, Natalie Peters. So again, folks, we recommend highly the Alistair Collins firm. Yep, Lamaha Street between Camp and Waterloo. Right down here, the Cali Mall on the ground floor. You go and tell them I send you, and they can give you folks the fix up. Dan, good to see you there, and all the other guys who are joining us tonight. We're giving some of you a chance to catch up with us. We're giving you, we are racing because we want to get to y'all, boy. Who the gods wish to make mad? Yeah, y'all know what to do. Whom the gods wish to destroy, rather. The correct iteration of that quotation. The first made mad. But good to see all of you guys on the live. You can do us the biggest favor. The 2,800, 2,900 of you watching us, you can give the live a share. Sandra, Aspet, Bantu King, Orma Dow, Candy Linda, good to have you, Martha Harris, with us as well. And June Cameron, we see you there. We outside, June. We outside. Dan Grivesani out of the mining jungle of Linden. Candy Linda, Patricia Craig, Jamal Aziz. Jamal, how are you doing there? Dan, Ayana, BB Sandy Forest. Now 5 people is one. Dion, how are you doing? CC Forbes is here. CC got them rich. People name. I hope CC got your backends. I know she got your backends. Horace, good to see you. Devon Fanfare, Armandao, Patricia Kisoon, and all the other folks. Wherever you're joining us from, to the 900 people watching us, 2,900 rather, and climbing. Good to see all of you there. Leon Logan, O'Neill, Jamal Aziz, the ministers of government, install Albert, who are watching us tonight. You're tuning in the right place. Unika Light, Ingrid Austin, Barbara, Neri, Mona Moses, Janet Hopkinson, Patricia Volman, all the other folks joining us. We're simply happy to have you folks on the live. Yolanda Thomas said pace and power. So we can ring the bell one time. For Yolanda and all the other folks who are watching us, that's the vein we're operating in. Pace and power. Don't come around me funny. Don't do it, folks. Don't do it. Don't do it. I want you all
Hold your 40, cheer your back tonight. The done stocks riding. Why?
Y'all by the press conference today. Who expects the Dunstugs went outside? The chief Dunstug, Quadamingo, Jasmine Shepherd Innis. Jasmine, how are you doing? Good to have you in the live. Heaven Faith, Shinsing Henry. Good to have each and every one of you on the live. Before we head to familiar ground, let's show you some of the other things, good folks. Some of the other good things that we're tracking this evening in the 5 of the 9 of the 2. Yep. How we get there? Don't do it. How did we get there, folks? Our apologies. Y'all don't hear see me down there. Don't do it. Don't do it. While you're hastening us in that direction. Good, folks. We did show you some what we're tracking in the region. We want to move past that, right? Show you some what we're tracking in the region, the hurricane and all that. We got to be so careful. Disappearing acts, good folks. Disappearing acts. As I said, folks, some of what we're covering tonight. In the 590, what's happening with the graphic? Our apologies. In conclusion, folks. In conclusion, the closer. Before we get there, before we get to the closure, this the London Times says it's Pocketorian confusion powder. You know what often happens to the best of us going forward. Like if them boys said the cards tonight, like if them boys put the cards together, we're having it. And I want to say congratulations to Dexter Todd and his law firm because they're undertaking a survey, not only in Guyana, but regionally. You know, they're trying to pinpoint those persons. They want the statistics on those persons who have been wrongfully convicted. We don't get plenty in Guyana. Plenty in Guyana. The way the police sometimes want to extract confessions out to people. Folks, it's subpar. It's very, very subpar human rights. You know, and above what is acceptable. Right? Very, very subpar of that. Very, very subpar. So Dexter Todd and his law firm, 3,000 plus watching us around the world tonight, you know, they're going to be doing this survey. And it reminds me of that fantastic piece of research that was done by Hughes, Fields, and Stobie, presented by their senior lawyer there, Mr. Nigel Hughes, on some of the egregious infractions by this People's Progressive Party installed regime. So when your boy come out today talking about what they do and what they didn't do and what they didn't do, I watching him funny. You got watching him sideways, you know? Oh, they're bastions of democracy and all kind of madness and foolishness. And you really got to watch them. But that aside, I want to say congrats to Dexter Todd and his law firm for pursuing this because we live in a country, we believe in studies and surveys and so on, you know. No. I saw a survey circulating, an online poll circulating about if people like Afan, and if they like Jack Dio, and if they like Robert Samp, Mark Phillips, and a whole bunch of other people. You see, we know what that is aimed at. We know who know. But if it's purposeful, meaningful research, as the one that Todd and Associates are undertaking here, like the one Nigel Hughes, Fields, and Stobie undertook, valid, credible information being produced by that. We're all for it. These Kakameme, you know, Said Ali, corner shop survey that we concocting, who like Ali, and if the government doing well, it's like, no to everything. No to everything. Moving along again, folks, congrats to Dexter Todd and his law firm for pursuing this. Not only locally, you know, this can entail a tidy sum, you know, to produce a real credible survey. And not only in Guyana, they're going in the region as well to see what has been happening where convictions are concerned and people who have been wrongfully convicted. I'm looking forward to seeing the results of this survey, the results of this piece of research. They're telling us that there's going to be an international, big, mega One Guyana concert and that our local artists are going to take center stage. Well, I don't mind all of that. That sounds nice. You know, it's any of our local artists, the main act, being supported by these importations. You know, but that aside, when you start talking about center stage, yes, I know they're going to bring it. I know our local artists are going to do nothing short of their very best, given the opportunity there. But it's the payment, is the remuneration, the package, is that center stage too uncomparable with what these international artists going to be earning? It's time we take our eyes and start passing our local artists up. The remuneration too, center stage is one thing, but if I gotta go home and worry how the rent pay, how the light bill pay, how eating tomorrow, what's the purpose, what's the point? And then y'all give millions upon millions of US dollars to the artists who we bringing in, you know? And I have nothing against them. You know, some wonderful acts who deserve the payment, but our guys too deserve comparable remuneration, and that is what I'm making a call for tonight. But I'm looking forward to seeing our local artists taking the stage We should all have to leave, to make it in this world. You have gifted, you are talented, you should be able to stay right in your country and claim not only success in being popular, but success in the bank as well. And so we're calling on those who are in charge. Let not only be center stage in person, but let remuneration and reward for the performance and the hard work be reflected also in what they carry to the bank as well. Wouldn't that be a fantastic day? Wouldn't that be something for the headlines, all of you watching us around the world? And as we focus on some of what is happening in the 592, we want to circle back to this brutal killing of this young woman in Puerto. Well, they said the fellow who was building the house, how he's a little thingish. He suffers from mental illness. The contractor, and he's being held for questioning in the brutal murder of this young lady. Her body was burnt right on the premises there, folks. Folks, no easy day in this country. None at all. No easy day. This was a gruesome act. They said they found sledgehammer and crowbar and all kinds of things in canvassing the area to try to understand exactly what happened. And the postmortem results indicated that the young lady died from blunt trauma to the head. Folks, madness, violence against our women and girls. We talk about it all the time. Good folks, we talk about it all the time. Let justice be done. That's all we asked for. Let justice be done. Let justice be done. That being said, good folks, that being said, I want to bring your attention another issue we're following. Remember these two gentlemen, the father-in-law and the son-in-law, found floating in the Essequibo River. Well, yes, their postmortem result also tells us that they died from trauma to the head. We saw that, right? These quarry, they died from drowning, rather, and blunt trauma to the head. Yep, that's what their postmortem examinations revealed. Yep, father-in-law and son-in-law found floating in the Essequibo River. Foul play. This thing sounded foul. Smelt of foul play. And now there we have it, the postmortem. One country, folks. One country. And all of this purgatory and confusion powder every single day. Every single day. We want to say thoughts and prayers for these families who lost their loved ones in these most horrific of fashions. We must pray for our country, folks. Not one day prayer, not 1 week, not a month. I say a whole year. Day after day, we lock off ourselves with some good sackcloth and ashes and we call on Father to help us. The good book says we call upon his name. Humble ourselves and pray. Turn from your wicked ways, Dagdeo. Turn from your wicked ways. He shall hear us from heaven. He can hear me and heal me land. That's what the good book say. Yeah. I know some of you are trying to escape your little Thursday night Bible. So you're not running for it. Father says, set for them tonight, doctor. Set for them. That being said, our thoughts and prayers go out to the family of the bereaved. Please and thank you, folks. Please and thank you. Let justice be done. Two men just end up floating in the river and they both capsized or nothing. Blunt trauma to the head. And they meet to the bottom and they scream and then hit a rock. Folks, come on, make it right. Let justice be done. Police, we call upon you all to do your work. I beg of you, let the police do the work tonight. That being said, folks, you see, Wild West, not a quarry story. Gunshots rang out, they tell us, in a particular quarry area. Gunshots is the Wild West. Not all our notation here is correct. I just want to inform you of that. But these two folks, let me see if I can get the correct notation. Gunshots, right? I'm telling you, it's the Wild West. This is concerning a rice farmer issue. Trying to find my way. A rice and cattle feud, rather. That's what they're telling us along the quarantine. Yep. Believe it or not. Remember, why don't people feel they have recourse to law? Why don't people feel they can go to the police and get some redress? But in the Wild West, people tend to take matters into their own hands. And that's what we're learning here. This feud, this rights and cattle feud, along the quarantine, they said gunshots fired. Yep. And you all know in the 590, once you all know them boys, nobody's ever held accountable. And then these jagabats and trench capos go on tell us, lectures about good governance, lectures about transparency and accountability. These jagabats and trench capos. And people feel as though, You know, the police ain't doing nothing for them. Let's walk around behind here for the whole day. You see, when you really need them, they're not there. But folks, that's not the way to go. That is absolutely not the way to go. So that's we are watching that. Everything we just showed you suggests is the wild, wild west. White boy, you remember that auto spare and accessory business that went up in flames on the East Coast quite recently? White boy, auto spare and accessories. That's the name of the company. That's the name of the business. Well, the owner says he has lost billions of dollars due to that fire. Billions of dollars. And he says, but he hopes to persevere and to move forward. Just wanted to give you that update on that front. He intends to persevere. Good folks, the man says he intends to move forward. And we'll be happy for him. We're happy for him. He intends, folks, yep, fires of the PPP. Fires of the PPP. Every day, something goes up in flames. Carnage on our roads and waterways every single day. Violence against our women and girls every single day. It would be an odd day if we didn't have a report of that. Let's speak up, pray for the country. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, you know, as long as it takes to put us back on the true and correct path. Because we're not in it. We are not in it. Look at us following, folks. Right? The Agricultural Organization, Food and Agricultural Organization of the UN made a donation of implements, of equipment to the Ministry of Agriculture, mind you, right? Because they want to see us boost our food production. They understand things tight. And people hungry, people starving in Guyana. All the billions we get, and say we have to take in donation. A man bring a fork, you see? Bring a spade, bring a wheelbarrow for me. All the money we produce in, because they know the truth. The people know the truth. And so the FAO made this donation quite recently to the Agricultural Ministry. You think we will be donating to others? You see, helping out others? Nah, all the billions pouring into the agri sector. All the billions pouring in. But you know what? Friends, family, and favorites, siphoning off most of it. Siphoning off most of it. And so there we were today when we saw this making the headlines, donation being made. You know? When we can stop being borrowers and start being lenders. Maybe when we stop being tenants in our own country. Maybe when we stop being tenants in our own land. Just because I'm in shame, you know. Billions upon billions appropriated from the National Assembly to do the very thing. Boost agriculture, boost food production. But we'll see how we punish it. They see how we starve it. We can get them a hand. Nothing irregular left. Maybe in 3 years more. Maybe in another 3 years. We're watching it. We're watching the good folks. As we said to you when we started, your boy run out today. He ran out. He swam out. You know, because, you know why? Sarah Lynch had a press conference. And since then, the media has been after Irfan Ali. Why, Irfan? Why? You're not sitting down. You're not sitting down with the opposition. Why things not moving forward? Folks, I want to remind you, folks, of that interview that Gordon Mosley, veteran journalist, you know, who heads up News Source, another valid, credible place for news and information. He had that interview with Sarah Lynch, put a lot of tough questions to her. One of the things he asked her is, why isn't the opposition and government sitting down? You're talking a lot of things, Sarah, but the reality is that they were really talking. I want to take you back there briefly. Take a look and take a listen. Right? Take a look and take a listen at that aspect of Sarah Lynch's interview. The American ambassador with veteran journalist, Mr. Gordon Mosley. Take a look.
But you know, many of them are talking. They're not talking to each other. They may be talking about each other. So do you see a role for the U.S. To sort of brokerage discussions between these key players? Because on one side, you're talking one Guyana. On the other side, you're talking about discrimination in one Guyana and parts of Guyana not getting a fair share of the economic bloom that we're seeing. So do you see a role for the U.S. in brokeraging discussions between them?
The U.S. stands ready to help in that role, for sure. I think open dialogue, frank discussions are very important. And I think bringing the people together is key to the success, the ultimate success of Guyana. So certainly the U.S. stands ready to do whatever we can to bring all parties together.
And good folks, it is on that note, y'all will run out. For those of you who missed her opening twice, Those of you who missed the opener twice because y'all always late for class, y'all got to pull up your socks, you know. Those of you who missed the opener, that is what Jack Neo was responding to in part when he said, "How may we talking to each other? How you mean some Guyanese believe that, you know, some getting more than some in this one game?" Well, he ran out. He ran out, Dr. Doom, Papa Jaguar. He ran out saying, "What the US can tell we? What the US can tell us? We better than them. We have a more representative structure." For those of you who missed it, you got to catch it quick because from this, we are moving on. Take a look and take a listen. What you all boys said. We better than the US.
In our engagement with the international community, we're saying, hold on a minute. This country is made up of people of every race. Look at the composition of the public sector. Look at the initiatives the government has done on housing, on the children, on education, on health care. They benefit all of our people. Look at the composition of the executive. Look at the composition of our legislature and the judiciary. They reflect their country. Unlike even in the United States of America, we have a more balanced, in fact, by far, more balanced structure here than most countries in the world in terms of all of our people sharing benefits. And many of those who have raised this issue in the past from the international community, when presented with facts and figures, they're now moving away from that jaundice view, the prejudice view. So Rick Ford Burke and the others, their biggest nightmare is the PPP being able to meet with the congressmen and present facts and figures because they go and present their bunch of lies about exclusion. That's what they talk. The exclusion is their backdoor into getting into power. And so we will continue to expose this. So a big hullabaloo over the week about President Ali not accepting the U.S. offer to mediate between the two parties. So again, the narrative by the Mosleys and others, and even the Mara Waves. Every few weeks, they come back to the same thing. Exclusion, although we have pointed out 1 million times that there is no exclusion, and about the parties are race-based parties. We have demonstrated the only party to be a multi-ethnic party. We have demonstrated they ignore the facts.
That's what he said. Folks, it only goes downhill from there. It only goes downhill from there because I told y'all, in lots of the interviews we've done since that Sarah Lynch interview with Mr. Gordon Mosley, journalist Gordon Mosley, I said Sarah got too close to some politicking there. That wasn't her role. You see, some things are going to left to the politicians. Her role is to advance the U.S. cause, U.S. interest, their business interest, such and so forth, security interest. It's not her role. The son does know she's on a political platform. When's Sarah going home, really, man? When is Sarah leaving us, really? And so he understanding the moment. You see, being the animal, the political animal that he is. He said, look, listen to the nice things Sarah spoke about us. I told you all Sarah got too close to politicking. Seizing on the moment. Here, y'all, boy.
God mostly interviews the ambassador. And he says, oh, the citizens of the country are not seeing the benefit of the oil and gas industry. And the ambassador says, right, I would say do as much as you can to show the citizens that there is an impact. So there are things happening, but maybe people don't see it all the time. New roads being built, there are new buildings going up, and there's a lot happening in the infrastructure area. But there's a lot happening in education and health areas as well. And she goes on to speak about that. So there's a lot happening. That narrative speaks about progress in Guyana. It doesn't go well for Norton and for Mosley and the others, so that doesn't get highlighted. That part doesn't go well for them. They spoke about returning Mosley Returning to the area of crime and security, the DA office, is it still fully functional in Guyana? Ambassador, it is more than fully functional. Thank you. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah. We have a full-time attaché, and just this week another agent arrived, so we are very happy. Guyana has been asking us for additional help in that area because they really want to get a handle on being a transit country for drugs. And I know aerial interdiction is important to Guyana, maritime interdiction. So having a full DA unit is terrific, and we're happy about that. That doesn't suit the narrative.
So he's very upset, folks. He is very, very upset that the media is not carrying the narrative that he wants the media to carry, that Sarah Lynch stumping for them and talking about all the supposedly nice things that they're doing. So they come out swinging at Gordon Moses, swinging at them warriors, swinging at Starbuck News. Because again, their narrative is not being picked up by the mainstream news media locally, and definitely not internationally as well. Remember Sarah Lynch talking about the two sides meeting to talk, and that the Americans are quite willing, willing and ready to be that emissary, to be that honest interlocutor between the two sides. He said, not at all. Not at all. Never mind what the Constitution says. They're laying out their own prerequisites, you see, for the appointment of the Chancellor of the Judiciary, for the appointment of the Chief Justice, you see, for lots of engagements that are catered for by the Constitution. He come out with the own list. Folks, I'm telling you, it only goes downhill. You see, the 4,000 of you who are now watching us around the world, it only goes downhill from there. I want to tell you all that one time, I said, don't build up yourself. Your esteem too high. That he can strike some inspirational notes in this presser, if you want to call that. It was just a rant. It's usually an hour and a half, you see, of a madman's rant. They'd rather sing, but here, it's the rant of a madman coming from a strange land. That's the PPP's domain, a strange land of many machinations. So he's laying out his own prerequisites. Listen to y'all boy here, and I tell you, it goes downhill. His own prerequisite for engaging with the opposition. He believes that he went like Mia Motley in Barbados twice, He thinks that's he victory. Slim one seat majority, and he behaving as though he win 99% of the electorate. Questionable votes, invalid votes. We can talk about all of that, folks. Listen to y'all boy, laying out their own prerequisites for engaging the opposition.
So you can talk about anti-democratic behavior of the PPP and cite a couple of examples that they did, which we have explanations for. But one thing you can't get away from is a track record of the PNC. And so when we say that it's a precondition for any talks between PNC, that they have to acknowledge that history, that the whole world knows, because if they don't acknowledge that history, then they don't believe they did anything wrong. Up to today, they talk about SOPs and the 2020 elections being won by the PNC. Rick Fordberg Forum in Washington would say they were cheated in the 2020 elections. So our insistence as a political party on their acknowledgement that they have sought throughout their entire history to steal elections is an essential prerequisite for moving forward. And a repudiation of that sort of behavior is the basis on which any foundation for closer work at the level of the executive has to be based on that.
Folks, you see this jagabatical kind of behavior? I don't like it. I don't like it. You see, he says we got some anti-democratic instances in the past, but we got some explanation for it. Those whom the God wished to destroy, the first made mad, we got some explanation for it. These anti-democratic stances that we took in the past, we got some excuses for it. But these boys over here, you see what they do? They got to genuflect. You see? They got to bend over without grease. They got to apologize to us. And that's the only way we're going to acknowledge them. We're going to engage them at the level of the executive. He went a step further, folks. Hold on. You all boys swim out. You roll out. You run out. He went a step further. He said in some issues, Ali is qualified to deal with it. But on some other issues, Chubby Cheeks got to come back. The party decides on that, not here for Ali. Folks, it's bacchanal. You see? So clearly they're singing from two hymn books. He said some issues here fun. I've given him the leeway to decide on that. But some other issues is the party, which really means is me. Jack Dio. Right? It's really me to decide on those issues. He can't decide on that executive presidency. You're talking about me. He's not an executive president. We knew this was a puppy show. We knew this was a puppet show. Folks, and as the days go by, what becomes more and more evident. Now listen to y'all boys say, not he. Ali don't decide on everything here. You better come back to the party. Take a look, good folks, and take a listen.
President Ali has made it clear he will meet any time with the opposition when the matters relate to the performance of his constitutional duties as president. But if you want to talk power sharing, etc., you got to talk to the People's Progressive Party about this. And our position has been clear. Our position has been clear on this matter. That is why we put a paper out in the past. We're not going to be duped. We're not starry-eyed. We know what it's about. You have to demonstrate exclusion, and you cannot demonstrate exclusion by a PPP government, because Afro-Guyanese have made the most progress, as all of Guyana has made, on the PPP governments, and we can demonstrate that.
Those whom the God wished to destroy, the first made mad. Y'all heard that, folks? Ali could determine constitutional issues with power sharing. That's not his remit. That is not his remit, Alson Cortez. Y'all hear that? I see somebody say Putin wanna be dictator. Putin wanna be dictator. He said Ali can't determine that. Constitutional matters is for him. Power sharing above his pay grade. I put it there. He can't determine that. I see Carol says, a pack of lies. Carol says he's a madman. You see that? Ali can't determine power sharing. That's for the party. Ali boy, you meet your zenith. You meet your apex. Right? Jack, you recognize that Ali getting too big for boots, you know. Ali getting too big for boots. Well, your boy went on from there. Oh, they're the bastions of democracy. All in all, we didn't do and we didn't do. And, you know, PNC ain't got no track record and democracy. Oh, it's full madness. Bart living infects this man thinking. The man tripping. Oh, y'all bring Jack Dio Stelazine for the man, please. I'm begging y'all, it's full madness. There's no method here. It's just madness. Those whom the gods wish to destroy, they first made mad. Take one. Name Jack Dio. Take one. Full madness. So here is he. Here he is exposing their supposed credentials on democracy. You listen to me for a second or two, and then I can show you who they really be.
I've been tracking over the last several weeks an intensification of comments about the PPP's democratic credentials, and a number of people, known characters and media outfits, about our governance under the PPP, and the PPP's commitment to inclusion and progress, its track record on progress in Guyana. So I think today, it's not that we never had these comments before. They've always been in the public domain, but sometimes they wane and then they intensify. And so I've had a task for the past maybe 20 odd years, over 20 years, in various capacities, but mainly as president and general secretary, leader of the opposition and general secretary of this party, to try to give our perspective on a lot of these issues. But in spite of all of these explanations, the matters keep resurfacing, not in any refined form or format taking account the explanations, but in the same crude way as though nothing has happened in 20 odd years in this country, and that the people of this country are not aware of these matters. So I saw at Starbuck News, I've seen a lot of this happening. A Starbuck News editorial speaking about the PPP credentials. And to its credit, it says, in other words, the ruling party too has some anti-democratic behavior to its account, even if not nearly as egregious as that of the opposition. So let me give you a couple of examples that they use. That Ramatar prorogued the parliament in 2014. They may not like it, but it was never unconstitutional. Two,
Folks, the fella talks so slow. Oh, it's painful, I tell you all this. It's very painful to listen to him. He's slow and he goes here, he's trying to pick through the lies he've already said and make sure he step on no big landmine lies, but oftentimes he's not so careful. It's one light in. I vex with Starbuck News though. I want you all know that. I vex with Starbuck News, and I'll tell you why. I vex with Starbuck News because Starbuck News only touched the surface of dealing with these jagabats and trench crappos, where their undemocratic transactions are concerned. Because I don't know about you, but friends, I ain't forget Janet Jagan, who threw the court order over her shoulder. You see, you all remember when the court issued an injunction against her swearing in, and it was served on her. Starbuck News perhaps have forgotten that. Jack Dio perhaps have forgotten that when that court order was flung over her shoulder, and then you had the other jagabat and trench crapo next to her. Do not, or as we used to call him, Rick Not, turned to her and said, what did he turn to her and say? Let me see if you guys know your homework. You know your political history 101. What did Rick Not turn to Janet Jagan and say on that fateful day? You remember that? When that court martial was trying to serve the petition on her. You remember that? Let me see you going to the front of the class tonight. I see Ranlene West says that was good. That is what the fellow said. The chairman then of Gocoms turned to the president, then about to be sworn in, Janet Jagan, he said that was good. The woman fling the court order over her shoulder. I thought it was just me. Do not sing. Then the chairman of GCOM went on to serve in the PPP's administration as Attorney General. Went on to serve as their Attorney General. That was the brown bag for the work that he did for them. All of the subversion of the will of the people that he did for the PPP. That was the brown bag. From chairman of GCOM to Attorney General. You see, for the PPP. So perhaps we see the last of Claudette Singh. Perhaps we don't see the last of her when she demits office, when she resigns as chairman of GCOM. We didn't see the last. Because Do Not Sing went from Elections Commission chairman to Attorney General in their government, folks. But he forget Janet pitch the court order over her shoulder. You know, he forget too the role that Gokul Budu played. You remember Gokul, who didn't add up the thing right? And it took a wise man, to do it and draw it to his attention, Vincent Alexander. He said, Gokul, the maths are mathsing. And it's again. So don't come wrong, we funny. When we wronged enough, and you want wrong down. Gokul didn't wrong at all. You see, Gokul mathsing. And it took wise Vincent Alexander to say, make it right, Gokul. Don't come wrong, we funny like that. Don't do it. And we all knew and know why Ramachar prorogued Parliament. Why he did it. You see, have no confidence motion, they're coming in the backside. And they want to face the will and the wrath of the people. So they went to prorogue the Parliament, feeling they had one upon the people. But the people decided to fate in summary fashion. That was a very undemocratic means, because you don't want to be held accountable by the people. You prorogue the Parliament so the people's representative cannot speak. And those are only some of the issues in the recent past. Y'all forget what we saw and what we observed during the recount? Our memory so shallow that this Jagabat and Trench Crapo want to come out on this Thursday and lecture us as though we don't pay we tuition, and any wishy-washy person could come and do some revisionist history and we take it, sir. We were there and we saw ballots counted that couldn't reconcile, ballots destroyed and spoiled that couldn't reconcile. We were there and saw those counterfoils and stubs that could not be reconciled, the authenticity of ballots that were in question. We were there and we saw the anomalies. We saw the inconsistencies, the inaccuracies. We saw all of that. We didn't see the missing poll books when those ballot boxes were open. And he wanted to come and lecture us on a day like today, a hot day like today, the day the bastions of democracy, the installed crew, they're suddenly the bastions, these Jagabats and Trench Crappos. We got 2/3 of our own. We have historians of our own. We were there at the recount, and we saw missing COEs, certificates of employment. We saw dead people voted. We saw people who migrated, and yet a vote was cast. They like dead people. Right? We saw people who voted without ID cards and without the requisite documentation to do so. So when you're coming at us about undemocratic means at the ballot, come proper. We saw missing votes of identities in that recount. You see, we saw unstamped ballots counted, missing poll books, as we said, official list of electors supposed to be in the ballot box from the polling station to tell you how those votes meet there, with names crossed off and so on, missing. We forget people who share out ID cards along these coasts, so don't come around, we funny. Like you got some transport, you got some patent on democracy, you got some patent on elections. And we were right here for local government election a few short months ago. And did we see dead people signing for candidates? Dead people, did we see that? And then they had to take shame out of eye and come up with all kinds of silly, fantastical excuses as to how dead people end up signing for their candidates. Hundreds of certificates. Didn't we see that, folks? So when Jack Duke coming for we, y'all tell y'all, boy, come proper. Come proper. You see, because facts, good folks, I want them to know facts are very stubborn thing. So the same speed you run him back, you better run him back. The same speed you run out with, you better run him back. Swimming, crawling, hopping. Facts are very stubborn things. The Constitution tells us of the rules of engagement between any opposition and a government. And we ain't taking your own concocted prerequisites. Please and thank you, folks. That's going to do it. On full display. Who Vex Vex? Thanks for joining our broadcast this evening. Good to see you, Suk Chance with Harry, Carolyn, Hallie. I see Rihanna Mingo is here too. Lester Williams, Akila Ash is here in the live too. Edward Brooms, we see you. Rosetta Barton, Yvonne McPherson. Tell him, don't come round with funny. Don't do it. Charles Nelson, tell him, don't do it. Rio and Margaret, tell him, don't do it. Adele Semple and all the other folks who've joined us. Andrew Griffith, who Vex Vex? Andrew says, Vanilla Garnett, Diane and Marcia, Grace and Jennifer, Ray Norin. Good to see each and every one of you on the live tonight. Share the live before you go. Smash that emoji button, good folks. That's our time this evening, good friends. That's our program. Thanks to the thousands of you who've joined us not only at home in Ghana, but around the world as yet. Yep, thank you, folks. That's the last bell. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Share the live, Valme and Samuel, Shirley Mitchell, Edith Biggins, Candida Linenderjit, Lester Williams. Share the live with folks. Smash that emoji button, guys. Partner with us as well. And let me go down the road. Take it easy, folks. Have a fantastic rest of the evening. That's our time. And that's our